Hello and welcome to my channel, In Search of Wonder. My name is Anne and this is my weekly wrap-up. Hello, it is Thursday evening and this is my first opportunity as well as my first need to record anything today because I just now finally finished a book. I just have not had much opportunity to read this week, just too much going on. I finally finished reading Anne of Windy Poplars, and this book fit a couple of prompts for the month of April. One was for the Tea and Ink Society, which was to read an epistolary novel, and this novel is mostly made of Anne's letters to Gilbert while she is working in a town called Summerside as a principal of a high school. And it also fit the prompt for a redheaded character, which was for Chantel's Read Yourself challenge. So, killed two birds with one stone. Plus, this was a book that I had wanted to reread anyway this year. It had been one of my goals to reread this year. So, I'm just checking all sorts of boxes with this one. I am slowly rereading through the Anne of Green Gables series I started like maybe a year and a half ago. And this is the fourth book in the series. Yes, fourth book. So halfway through the series now. I have to say it's probably not my favorite. I like the epistolary format, but this is very one-sided, and it seems like Lucy Maud Montgomery made a deliberate choice. It seems to me, like I don't know that for sure, but it seems to me that she made a deliberate choice not to have Gilbert's responses to Anne recorded in this book, to be not a part of the book. It is all told from Anne's perspective, and every letter is Anne's letters to Gilbert. There is one other letter, maybe two, that happen in the story, but they are from other people to Anne. So there's nothing in here from Gilbert. And actually, I feel like throughout the whole series, Gilbert is a bit of a shadowy side character. Anyway, shadowy not in terms of character morality, but shadowy in the sense of not being fully present on page. He's obviously often in Anne's thoughts and he's a big part of her life, but the story is definitely about Anne and it's not about Gilbert so much. And so I'm not sure why that is. I've not ever read any discussion of that fact. I've not heard people talking about that a lot, but I'm definitely noticing that on this reread, and I'm finding every time I read a book, I'm like, more Gilbert, please, more Gilbert. He's just such, when you do catch glimpses of him, he's such a wonderful character. He's such a wonderful person and perfect for Anne that it's like, you want more, but he does not show up hardly at all. Like Anne sees him on her holidays from school when they go back to Green Gables. But those times are just really mentioned and then just brief glimpses of her vacation time. Really, the story is about her experiences at the school and more even the town where she lives. It's less about her role as principal of this school and teacher, and it's much more about her relationships that she builds with the people in the town and the stories of the different people in town. You know, like Lucy Maud Montgomery really excels at that, like the stories of the different townspeople and characters. So I really enjoyed it. Probably going to give it 4 stars, I guess, because I mean, the writing is always delightful. Lucy Maud Montgomery makes me chuckle out loud. She's very witty, and she puts in these like sly little comments that just make me laugh out loud. And Anne, of course, is a winsome and delightful character. And she's borderline managing female, which I hate. I hate managing female protagonists. But she's always doing it out of a genuine desire to be helpful, not out of any kind of sense of self-righteousness or smugness, which very often happens when you have a managing female character. So she doesn't quite cross the line where it gets annoying. And when she does cross the line, because she does sometimes, she admits it. Or, you know, things don't go as well as she had thought that they might. So just really, I really just enjoy Montgomery's writing thoroughly. I just enjoy her turns of phrase that she uses, and the dialogue is just so funny sometimes, and just very well done. There were a few scenes that I literally just laughed out loud. I found them so humorous. And one thing that she said in this, a phrase that she used in this book like 3 or 4 times that just cracked me up, was in the course of a conversation with someone, Anne's wit would get the better of her. And so she would think of this sharp, sarcastic, not sarcastic, but like sharp, not sharp either. That's the wrong word. Like a witty retort. A lot of times the person that her interlocutor, however you say that word, you know, the person that she was talking with, wouldn't always even realize what she was doing. She would be like laying a trap for them, or just, you know, saying something that as a reader, it's making you laugh and you think it's very witty. And it's like, man, if I were ever in that situation, I wish that I would have the presence of mind to say that. Anyway, there's a few times when that happens, and Lucy Maud Montgomery, she uses this little phrase. She says, "Then Anne went wicked," which is cracking me up. So, unfortunately, whenever this Anne goes wicked, she always regrets it afterwards, but it works well for this Anne in the book. So, I also am working on Les Miserables. Sorry, we're in between flag football games. We're at the playoffs for my high school son, and I came in the car to warm up a little bit because it's kind of chilly outside, and I'm just trying to make sure that the other game hasn't started yet because I don't miss it. Anyway, I finished Les Mis, and no, I did not finish Les Mis. I finished the 2nd volume of Les Mis, and there's like 5 volumes. So Victor Hugo certainly takes his time telling the stories. There's no question about that, and he's very thorough in laying groundwork for scenes, and for characters and for situations. This is where a lot of the digressions come in. Like right now at the beginning of volume 3 is a whole digression about street urchins in Paris. But he's doing that on purpose. It's not completely outside of the context of the story, because he's about to start talking about Gavroche, who is a street urchin who plays an important role in the story. So it's not completely unnecessary or pointless, but he's definitely extremely thorough, for sure, in setting his scene and building his characters, and you really feel like you get to know them very well. It does take time to work through that, though. It's not a book that you read through quickly and be like, ooh, I'm done. So I am still working on reading that. And I am also, the last book that I wanted to read for sure for April was The Heir of Redclyffe by Charlotte M. Yonge. So I have that on my Kindle, so I'm going to pick that up in addition to continuing with Les Miserables, and those will bring me to the end of April probably. So I'm actually not sure how long The Heir of Redclyffe is, so I don't know, and I'm also not sure, you know, how easily read it is, like if it's something that I can read pretty quickly or what. But anyways, so that is where I'm at right now. And it looks like the other football game we were waiting for has finished. So my son's next game is going to be starting in a minute here. So I will head over there. I may or may not have another clip to share because it's already Thursday and I will not be finishing another book between now and Saturday. So, yeah, this might be it. So, if I have nothing else to say, then I hope all of you had a lovely, fantastic week this week, and I hope this coming week goes swimmingly for you, and that you have a marvelous week. And guys, it's almost May. Can you believe it? Almost May. Wow, crazy. If you have not seen my video already, I invite you to join us, by which I mean me. Join me in Mood Read May. The whole month of May, I'm going to be reading whatever I want to read. And I'm not purposely going to be filling any prompts or readathons or whatever. I enjoy all of those. I actually really, really, really like the structure that they give to my reading. I'm not doing mood reading for the whole month is not because I dislike readathons or challenges, etc. I just want to have a whole month of reading whatever I want. And and maybe knocking some books off my shelf that have been there for a while that I've been kind of wanting to read but haven't fit any prompts. So join me for Mood Read May. I'll be posting a video later this week with more, with my list of possible choices that I will choose from throughout the course of the month. So I hope you will join me in that and at least some mood reading this month. And otherwise, I will see you guys later. Bye. All right, it is Friday evening and I don't have too much in the way of news to report as far as books read, etc. But I just wanted to film a final clip for the week. And I know I'm not going to have time tomorrow to do anything. I may have time to read some more, but I won't have time to film another clip or edit or post anything. So I figured while I am fixing dinner here, I will just give my final update for the week so I can get this up and posted and ready to go live at the appropriate time. So I started reading, timer on the oven. I started reading, let me add a few more minutes. I started reading The Heir of Redclyffe by Charlotte M. Yonge, and I'm not very far in. I've read a few chapters, 4 or 5 chapters or so. I'm honestly still like getting the lay of the land, like figuring out who is who and who is connected to who and what. There's like a lot of backstory that is told very quickly in the first chapter or so, that I was like, who are you talking about? What's going on? I'm really confused. But I just figured that if I was patient and kept reading, all would be made plain in time. So that's kind of still where I am. Just a little bit off to a confusing start, but I'm starting to figure out who's who, what's what happened in the past and the backstory of all of these different people. And still not exactly sure where the story is going to go, but I see like groundwork that's being laid and it's interesting. So definitely an easy to read, engaging style of writing. One thing that is tickling my funny bone up to this point is that Charlotte Mary Yonge seems to be dissing Dickens a little bit. Not in that like she dislikes his style or it's too wordy or whatever, the prose or the characters are too ridiculous or not realistic, which, you know, would be actual accusations that you could levy against Dickens that would be accurate or at least understandable, if not accurate. No, she seems to be lumping him in with like fiction that's novels that aren't really worth your time, like sensational or fun fiction, like not intelligent fiction or whatever, which I find highly amusing because people nowadays would certainly not have that perspective. You know, Dickens is something you study in school. So there's automatically, because of that, you know, this idea that it's, you know, more intellectual to start with. Plus his prose is a little bit wordy and dense. And so it does take a little bit of more effort to read than, you know, a regular mainstream contemporary fiction. So I found that highly amusing. And also I'm wondering how many people had that perspective back in the day. Like I don't know, was he considered like sensationalist and, you know, just fun reading? I kind of feel like he delves into some pretty serious topics for the day. I don't think he was trying to just write, you know, easy reads or, you know, just trying, I mean, obviously he was making a career, but he wasn't just trying to make money and write cheap stories like Louisa May Alcott, for example, would do, admittedly of her own accord. So I'm just curious what the average perspective of the person of that day would be, or if that's like an extreme perspective or what. So that just kind of made me chuckle and scratch my head a little bit. I thought it was funny, but I am enjoying that. Still slowly working through Les Mis. Nothing new to report on that front. And yeah, that's what I got going on. And that is what I will have probably going on. We've got a few more days in April. If I pick up anything different, it's going to count for Mood Read May, because I've pretty much done everything that I wanted to do for my TBR in April. The only thing I didn't get to was Flower Fables, which is a short little book, and I may or may not read some of those over the weekend if I finish the Heir of Redclyffe. But we'll see. The Heir of Redclyffe is longer than I thought it was, so I don't think that's going to happen. So apologies for my very messy house, and I'm not sure when I'm going to clean it, because I'm busy all day tomorrow. And yeah, there's life everywhere in this house, you know, like library books, not library books, just other books, homework stuff, lunch boxes. There's just stuff everywhere. Things that need to be dealt with, that haven't been dealt with, that I don't have time to deal with, etc. So apologies for the mess. But that is what I have been reading this week, and I will see you next time. So hope you all had a great week, and have a great week coming up, and let me know in the comments what you're reading, and if you've read any of the books that I read this week and or am reading, and your thoughts about them. And yeah, talk to you later next time. Bye.